Hey, hey, movie maniacs. My name is Sky, and that guy on the other side of the screen is my brother, Dusty. And Dust, I've got to say, we're going to have to use our brains for this episode.
Damn.
Damn. Exactly. Huh? It's not something we're good at, that's for sure.
That's good. Hey,
Yep.
so there's a certain type of movie that I hate. And it's not every movie that I hate, but there's certain types of movies that I
It's not
really
every
hate.
movie you hate?
Not every movie, but musicals. I hate
Mm.
musicals. This is one of the best musicals I've ever seen. What do you think?
It is a great musical. I did enjoy it. Loved all the musical numbers. And you just reminded me another one with Steve Martin, Little Shop of Horrors. Great
Yes, that's a good
musical.
one.
Yep, but probably my favorite musical ever is South Park the movie. That's top notch. Yep.
Awesome. Now, I for some reason when I think of this movie, well, I wouldn't say for some reason because there's loads and loads of scenes that are hilarious and so funny, so creative, like comedic geniuses these guys are. And but for some reason, the music scenes, like the My Little Buttercup scene, as well as the Blue Shadows songs, I was like, those stick in my brain so much. I just love it. And I sing it to the kids all the time, like, my little buttercup has the sweetest smile. And they just die laughing because they love the movie too.
Yeah, it's a fun movie for the whole family, man. There is one dick joke in it, but other than that, it really is a good, fun family movie. Oh, but there's a lot of dead bodies in this movie too.
And it's funny, but there's no blood. There's no blood
Yeah.
at all. They just and they fall over. But yeah, that the dick joke is really funny because it's like, what do you mean? I don't know. Or something. I don't know what it means.
So good. And I don't remember. I didn't remember. Like you and I have seen this movie growing up. This was released back in 1986. I'm sure we saw it within the first year, probably came out on VHS. Mom rented it. So we probably saw it when I was 10. You were 8-ish, right around there, right? And I don't remember that dick joke, but when I heard it this time, I laughed so hard. I was totally surprised by it. Loved it.
And everybody, if you're watching this on YouTube, you go to watchandlearnpodcast.com/YouTube. You can see my desert scape right behind us. This is in Arizona. There's a thing called the Horseshoe Bend where the Grand Canyon River flows through there. And this is the Horseshoe Bend, which is really beautiful. It's literally surreal when you're there. It's super awesome. And so that's in my background right now if you're looking at it. But as I'm watching this movie, they're singing about Arizona. So when they're actually doing the blue shadows on the trail, like blue, Dusty Bottoms, my namesake. When he's singing that song, he's singing about Arizona. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I love Arizona. Actually, I loved California, but then I moved out. I was like, man, Arizona's great too. Arizona's really, really great. But yeah, going through this whole entire movie, it is so comedic genius. So many things stick in my brain, like one-liners or even just little quips. One is just so much funny. If I'm ever trying to get somebody's attention and they don't know I'm there, I'm usually like, you two, you two, you two. Look up here, look up here, look up here, look up here.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. It's like that's so, and they're just crouched down and they hear that, but they're not even looking up.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. See, so I'm a simple man. Simple things just make me enjoy life. And things like this, like my wife actually, she didn't not like it, but it was, not as funny as me and the kids. We're just rolling, laughing, watching this movie.
Yeah, it's the kind of movie that really suits you and I and kids' mentalities, or I guess humor style of humor. But for our wives, I mean, Denise liked it. She remembered liking it growing up and stuff, and she enjoyed it when we watched it this time. But she didn't laugh nearly as much or as out loud as I did throughout it. So just one of those things, goofy humor doesn't fit a lot of females, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. Things like, oh, look at the plane. It's a mail plane. Or how'd you know it was a mail plane? Because of the little balls.
Yeah. That was classic. That was
And
classic.
I love it where Dusty Bottoms, like he still doesn't get the joke, but he just starts laughing. Oh, I'm fitting in.
Yeah.
I'm fitting in.
Yeah. Chevy Chase plays that pretty well of not getting it, but then faking that he got it.
Sure does.
Yeah.
And even a scene that is so creative, like the summoning the swordsman, the invisible swordsman, and having the bush dance and singing, and they're like, "Are you the?" And he's like, and it's literally a bush singing, but then killing the guy, the invisible swordsman. I never saw that coming. That was so brilliant.
It's funny. Normally, when you have a group of guys like this, like you think the Three Stooges, two of them are really goofy, and then one is the smart one. All three of these guys are not too bright at all. Even Steve Martin, who you think, well, he is the leader, but you think he would be the smart leader trying to lead these two incapable guys. They all kind of have their moments of ditziness, and it makes it a lot of fun to watch without one overall smart leader in it.
And even his, well, love interest, the not girlfriend, but like love interest. The girl said, and they are, one of the other girls asked her, "Which one do you like?" And it was, "I like the not smart one or the dumb one," whatever she says. Well,
Yeah.
which one's that? It was like,
yep. In my mind, if I would classify or rank them in smartness, Chevy Chase, Dusty Bottoms here, Ned Niederlander, and then Steve Martin slightly above Ned, or Lucky Day slightly above Ned Niederlander.
And only Lucky because he acts like the leader. That's the only reason
Yeah.
why that puts him just a little ahead. Now,
Yeah.
those are some brilliant names: Dusty Bottoms, Ned Niederlander, and Lucky Day. And one great name that not necessarily gets overlooked, but we just don't register it as much is El Guapo. So I should have looked it up. What does El Guapo mean? Do you know?
For some reason, I always thought guapo meant handsome, but I
Oh, the
might be
handsome.
wrong on that.
Oh, it might be. Maybe we should look it up. So, yeah,
We should have.
I'm gonna go ahead and look it up because I don't speak Spanish. In fact, I aced 2 years of Spanish in high school only by changing my grade in the computer of the
Oh, wow. So
It was
you
that bad.
accessed the computer when the teacher wasn't there?
Yes, I sure did. Actually, he was there walking around with other students, and another couple of students were on there, and I was like, "Hey, what's this little Excel sheet? Look at that!"
How funny, man. Yeah, for some reason in my head guapo has always meant handsome, but I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't really see it. I did it. Well, I don't want to take up too much time, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to look at. If anybody is watching this, definitely put it in the comments of what El Guapo means. But yeah, so I love the character of El Guapo too. He's funny and he's not like crazy demented, but he's funny. But he also, he's a dictator type. Wants to just steal and kill and ravage and all that sort of stuff. But all the guys, it's so fun that the entire movie has fun elements. There's bad guys, but it's all fun elements. Like when he says, "Son of a motherless goat," and the Mexican guy goes, "What? Son of a motherless goat?" Yeah, he smiles. Lucky Day just looks at him and smiles. It's just so many comedic things in there. I love the bartender. For some reason, I love the bartender when Dusty Bottoms, or no, he said, "Hey, we'll take a couple beers." "We no got no beer, only tequila." And Dusty Bottom goes, "Is it fattening?" And the bartender, "Fatness?"
Yeah.
And he's this big.
He kind of. Yep. The Three Amigos were great in that scene, and they steal the show. Of course, they're the lead actors. They look great. Your eye is drawn to them. But that bartender in that scene almost stole the scene from them. I love it. And in the end, when he goes, "My little buttercup," with singing with them, he was great. And he's a memorable character. Another memorable one who I always liked is Jefe. El Guapo's second, his lieutenant and whatever. And I really enjoyed that scene when El Guapo was talking about plethora and just berating him on his non-knowledge of plethora. But then Jefe turns back and says, "Hey, why are you taking it out on me? Is it because you're turning 40? Is it because she won't sleep with you?" I just love that. Everybody needs a Jefe in their life, to kind of put them on track, to let them know where they're maybe misstepping and doing things wrong.
And it was more than just like a friendly conversation. It was almost like his psychiatrist. "Would you say, El Guapo, you're really just projecting it onto me when you're internally struggling?"
So good. Yeah, Jefe was great.
And the present that they give El Guapo for his birthday, that's like something your grandma or your great grandma would give you, and they're all proud of it. It's a sweater, and he's like, "It's a sweater," and everybody, "Yes, they were proud of it."
That is so great, so great. The first thing, I didn't remember this, and then I saw it this time. One of the three Germans, as soon as I saw him, I go, "That's the bad guy, the psychotic dude from Cobra." One of the great 1980s action Sylvester Stallone movies. It made me want to watch it again.
I know what you mean. I thought the same thing when I saw him. I was like, "Oh, dude, I remember that dude." I did not remember it was from Cobra, but that's a good clarification or pointing out. Yeah, so there's a lot of fun. Like, I don't really feel or place anything out of place in this movie. It's a very, like, it flows very, very well, especially like when you first start, like the Three Amigos, you're finding out that they're actors and stuff. Then they get kicked out of the Hollywood studio. I was like, it's like, wow. And that leads me into basically my first lesson is you don't need, or you should not get a full head about yourself. Like you should not think you're something superior when you have Lucky Day, or actually all three of them go to basically the producer and
Joe Montana.
Montana. Oh, he's great too. Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe Montana is in there, and he's a part of the Simpsons, or was a part of the Simpsons for a while. He was the gangster guy, mafia boss. But yeah, he says no show, no dough, no show. And I was like, oh, this is it. And so Joe Montana stands up and puts the slap down on him. But yeah, when you get a fool ahead of yourself, you think you're better than you are, and you try to throw your weight around, it usually doesn't work out well. In fact, more often than not, it's probably not going to work out well. Only when you know you have every single card in your hand. Like you have literally the best house, like a royal flush. Nobody could ever beat it. That's when you can, because you know you can't be beat. When you just had a box office flop like they did, you don't have any legs to stand on.
Yep, for sure. That's a good point. And I like the idea that, no, I like the idea. It reminds me of, I guess there were back in the day, actors were kind of second class. They were barely paid for their jobs, and they were basically like employees for the studio, just getting paid hourly, but they would be on movie after movie after movie. Eventually the tide turned and actors started making really big bucks, you know. But I think you're absolutely right about that. Don't get too big for your britches, you know.
And then you start thinking of other things like, well, we're big enough. We need to get out. We can make a lot of money doing something else. And something like an infamous, you're like, what is infamous? Oh, it's more than famous. Obviously, they need to get a dictionary. But, you know, you're thinking, wow, I can make even more money there. Yeah. Yeah. What about you? We'll get more in the show, but I was just curious about what your first lesson is.
My first lesson was simply follow directions, right? Shoot your gun up in the air. In the air doesn't mean horizontally, right? It's vertically for sure. Dusty Bottoms killed. They were lucky the plane was flying across, or else they would have never been able to get to El Guapo and save the girl, you know. But yeah, that's a simple thing. Follow directions. Anything in life, you know, when you're building IKEA furniture, follow the directions. You know, you're going to leave something out, it's going to fall over, tip over, whatever the thing is, you know.
I am definitely not good at following directions, only until I can't figure it out. That's when I'm like, okay, fine, give me the directions. I'll figure it out. And you're going to laugh at this, but even though I'm a handyman, I remodeled our entire house, and obviously you were there helping me out and doing that. I'm absolutely a handyman. I literally do just about everything inside the house, from electrical to plumbing to building up walls, all that sort of stuff. Literally do all that stuff. Every bit of furniture that is put together furniture, I don't do. Melissa, my wife, literally does that. Number one, she really enjoys it. Number two, I hate doing it. And number three, days to get done. So she is totally fine to do it. But you might laugh at that. But yeah, I just don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm just surprised by it. I love putting together furniture, and every time we get a new piece of furniture, I make sure that one of the two boys are with me, putting it together with me, just to teach them how. I mean, once you learn how to put any one piece of furniture together, everything else, you can read any other instruction manual, put anything else together after that. So I thought it was a really good exercise. Our gazebo out back, the tables right here. I mean, I could just think of a lot of different stuff they've helped me put together.
Do you remember in my old house in Fresno, the backyard, we had one of those big play structures? Do you remember putting that together?
Yes, me,
that was horrible.
And Dad, right? The three of us worked on it.
Yes, the three of us. It was horrible. I hated it. I couldn't stand it, but we got it done, which was great because we got it done. Now, I think I know, I could stem back to our childhood. The reason why I hate, not reason, but like it helps me paint the picture of why I hate putting together furniture and why you love it. So let me ask you a question. Do you like Legos?
Yes.
Yeah, you like putting together and everything. I hate Legos. Let me step one further back. Do you like puzzles?
Yes.
I hate puzzles. It all goes back to puzzles. Now, a Lego is just a 3D puzzle, and furniture is like a bigger version of a Lego. Like actually and so it all stems back to puzzles. I literally hate it. I would rather get my teeth pulled, literally, than put together a puzzle. But people love it. And so I translate that now where Legos, I hate Legos. My kids love Legos. My wife loves puzzles. She loves Legos and loves furniture. So I can't. My brain doesn't work like that. Does that track with you at all, or is that completely off the rocker?
It does. It does. There's maybe some kind of a spatial, uh, I don't think, what is that called? Spatial memory, spatial visualization skills that maybe it's difficult for you to access that part of your brain to look at a schematic and see this piece fits here and there and there. So it might
I
be
am
tough for you
very
like that.
stupid. Yes, absolutely.
No, that's
It's
not it at
literally,
all. Yep.
but yeah, no, I think it's something like that. Like it's not easy for my brain. Where there's some people they can finish like a 2,000 piece puzzle in a couple hours, and
Yeah.
it just literally does not work for me.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Do you like to, I know you're not a big cook, but when you, are you pretty good at following recipes that you find online or something?
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Okay.
But I
Yeah.
would say though, I'll see what the directions are. I'll definitely skim over what the ingredients are, and then just put it together as I want, as I see fit. But once I get the gist, I do it on my own.
Ah, yeah. I'm the opposite. I love following directions. I follow it to a T. I actually often read the directions all the way through before starting to build something as well. But you're the
Oh,
kind of guy,
so
lay out the pieces, put it together, make it look like the picture.
So you would be, if we think of another great movie, the Lego movie, you would be like Emmett, follow the directions, or like President Business. Those are directions, are for a reason. And I would be like, I don't know, Wild Style or Batman. I'd be like Batman, like, no, we got it. Or I would actually, no, I take that back. I'd be Lego 2. I would be Rex Danger Vest, where I'm a master
Oh,
breaker. I could break them so
there
much
you
better than
go.
anybody else could ever put together. So let's
That's
get back
cool, man.
to Three Amigos. Now, we start the movie as they are actors, but then they go and they find out that they're going to get paid and they think it's going to be for their acting skills and put on a show in Mexico. But I love the scene where Lucky Day gets shot. They're all riding around on their horses, and he's all, "Wapo, should I kill him? Just kill one of them." And he shoots them, and then Lucky Day, the whole scene of him figuring out that they have real bullets, and then it's real, and he's bleeding and all that sort of stuff, and the realization that they're going to be killed, and then they start crying. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And Wapo goes, "I did not kill women, crying women. I only kill
yeah.
men." I love that.
I loved it too. That was a really good, really fun scene. I like you said, I like that transition of going from being actors to now they're in the deathly situation, whatever the word is. Yep, loved it.
And the progression of the movie is really fun because we see transformation and changing them. A huge change in them where out of nowhere, somebody who you would think is more reserved, not reserved, but like cowardly in a sense. Like Dusty is just dumb. Ned seems a little more not cowardly. It's not the right way to say it,
He
but
seems more sensitive to me.
there you go. Not
Mhm.
forceful, much more sensitive, but he's the one that says, we got to make a stand. And he draws a line in the sand and then brings the other two over. That's a huge transformation where now they're
It is.
saying, we need to do this. And so seeing movies like this where the characters transform and we really learn something is so great. That's why I really thought this movie, the progression of storytelling was really, really good.
Yep, I agree with you 100%. And I did a little Google search. Do you know how much in US dollars 100,000 pesos is today?
Oh my goodness. I would say 100,000. That was probably what, 1900, something like that, or early
Well, no, how much
1900.
100,000 is today in
No,
dollars? I didn't
I
look
get
back
that.
then.
I get that. I was
Oh,
just wondering what date it was when they were actually, what it was supposed to be back then. But I would say probably close to $1 million or more.
100,000 pesos is $4,400. So
Oh, wait.
4,400 in today's
Oh, in
dollars.
today's, not like back then, the 1920s or whatever,
Yeah.
but in today's, it'd only be 4,400, which at
And so
4,400 back like 100 years ago would probably
might
be like
be
50,000.
20,000, 50,000. Yeah.
Okay. Got
Yeah.
it.
Not enough
Okay.
money for their dreams of starting an orphanage, buying a car, and whatever Dusty Bottom's. I don't remember Dusty's dream, but it was something like that or along
Wow.
those lines. Oh, going to an island or something? What was his dream?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. So out of the three characters, which one, the Lucky Day, Ned Needlelander, or Dusty Bottoms, which is your favorite?
My favorite is probably Lucky Day.
Lucky Day, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Steve Martin. Ned Niederlander is great, and Martin Short is amazing. Love his movies. One of these days, we got to cover Inner Space. Inner Space was a great movie. Maybe even
You're
Captain
right.
Ron. That was a lot of fun at the time. I don't know if Captain Ron holds up, but like we've got to do some other Martin Short movies too.
I agree.
And
Martin
then
Short is definitely well underserved. I mean, he's great.
yeah. for sure. And so, yeah, Steve Martin is it, or Lucky Day, I guess, as a character.
Lucky Day.
What
I
about
would
you?
say I really like. I'd say Lucky Day is probably the one that I gravitate towards more so. But obviously, Dusty Bottoms is just hilarious. But he's just a little too out of it for me. Like he's just not there, like the personality. But yeah, so all three of them are really really good. Chevy Chase is a really hilarious actor.
Yeah.
Martin Short and Steve Martin, they're all great. And My Blue Heaven. Have we covered My Blue Heaven?
No, we need to.
That's another movie we got to cover. My Blue Heaven's brilliant. My kids watch it; they love it too. Yeah. So, what is your favorite scene out of all these great scenes?
The sunset campfire scene with the Blue Shadows song, with the animals talking, with the horses going ba-dum, ba-bum, ba-bum. And then at the end the turtle says good night, Ned. I just love that. So much fun. And you could tell clearly it was shot in a studio. The backdrop is painted, but it's a beautifully painted sunset. But I think, I'm pretty sure they purposely made it so you can tell it was painted just for the fun of the show. Like they weren't trying to fake like they were really out in the mesa, right? Like it was pretty obvious that it was fake. And then the coyote comes up, the wolf comes up, and the rabbit comes out of a hole. Absolutely love that scene.
I think that's probably my second favorite scene.
Hmm.
Love that scene. Man, there's so many good ones that really rack up in my brain. Even the My Buttercup, but I would have to say my favorite one that always comes in my brain is you have Lucky Day. Actually, all three of them. They're riding on the horse. Lucky Day gets his water bottle and just gets a couple drops, and it drips in his mouth. And he's like, "Oh, he's really parched and really thirsty. Sun's beating on them. They're in the middle of the desert." Then you get Ned Needlelander. He opens up his canteen, and it's dirt and sand dumping on his face, and it's all covered. He's like, "Oh." And then you got Dusty Bottoms, literally getting his canteen full of water, just drinking it, dumping all over his face, and then tosses it so that it dumps out. And then he gets lip balm, and he puts it on his pinky, and he puts it on his and the other two are just looking. I'm like, oh, that was so good. I absolutely love that.
That was great. And one of the other jokes that was very small joke that I remember I laughed out loud was Lucky Day comes in El Wapo's area, and then, El Wapo, I can't remember exactly what else happened, but El Wapo says, what are amigos falling out of the sky? And then Ned goes, roll, boom, on the table. Just a perfectly timed, love that timing joke right there.
I'd also, man, what was not expected was the gunfight scene between Ned Needlelander and the first German guy. That was awesome. And I love when Martin Short, Jefe grabs the little gun. You don't want to die with a little wimpy gun like this. You want to die with a man's gun. And then that Needlelander gets it, and it's like so heavy it goes to the ground. It's like so good. And then he uses it and actually kills the German. That was so good. And the photography or the cinematography, you show the eyes of the bad guy his really mean and stern.
And then they narrow in.
They narrow down. And then you get Ned Needlelander. His eyes get wide, and he's like, "Oh no, what's going to happen?"
Yeah, so good,
so good.
And
Love then the movie. Everybody throw down your gun. Lucky Day says, "Everybody throw down your guns." Everybody does, and Dusty Bottoms throw down his gun too. And he's all, "Not you, Dusty." Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, literally every bit of this movie, I am just dying laughing.
Totally. Me too. And two people that were in this very briefly, I always love seeing them in movies. John Lovitz and Phil Hartman. Just in the very beginning, the producer's office. I'm a big fan of them. I would love to see them in more. Well, Phil Hartman, but I mean, John Lovitz, I love to see them in every movie. And so that was a little treat as well. And I didn't realize at the very beginning, when you're watching it, it says produced by Lorne Michaels was one of the producers. So it was kind of like a Saturday Night Live thing. So they had a few different Saturday Night Live actors on it too.
Yes. And sorry for everybody watching on YouTube. I literally have a fly that looks like it's attacking me. So that's why I'm swatting everything around. But yes, both those guys are phenomenal actors. I love, and it's such an amazing thing that how many great actors and comedians came out of Saturday Night Live. It's just brilliant. And it seems that, obviously when you grow up and you watch Saturday Night Live and you love those characters, the newer ones don't seem as funny as the last ones, and it just happens where people who are probably watching Saturday Night Live now love these ones, whereas we're like, they're not as good as the old ones. I mean, like
Mhm.
other ones where you have like Dana Carvey and you have Adam Sandler, like that cast, and Chris Rock and all that. But yeah, they put out some really great comedians, and this is definitely one of them. And I love the line where Lucky Day. I'm just transitioning to so many quotes in here, so many things that are just hilarious that are said. Lucky Day says to, I can't remember what her name is, but the girl, his love interest, says, "I'll come back for you one day." Or no, sorry, "I'll come back one day." And she says, "Why?" Reminded me of, which movie was it? Oh, So I Married an Axe Murderer, where you have Charlie says, "Harriet, marry me." And she goes, "No." And he says, "Please?" Something like that is just so hilarious.
Yep. At the beginning of the movie, they did something that you love in movies when they kind of beat a dead horse. So the three amigos are on the horse. They go, "The three it's extended, 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 amigos." Just when, as soon as I see stuff like that, every time I'm just reminded of you because, and I love those beating a dead horse things, drawing things out too long and it becomes funny again. And so every time I see that, it reminds me of you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that
Mhm.
is so hilarious. And my son Xander, he's got a fun personality like me, and so he and I both will sing it, three, and we'll just keep going, and then amigos,
Yeah.
and we'll be
Yeah.
laughing. My wife will be just like, "Oh my goodness, what do you
Exactly.
got?"
Tired of this crap, she is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So let me see here. My last lesson, or my second lesson, is don't stand too close to a gunfight. So, Ned Niederlander and the German are facing off. Everybody's standing right here. Now, there's the danger factor, right? I mean, somebody might get shot and then they pull their gun and shoot you kind of sideways. But when you're watching a gunfight, who do you focus on? You're looking this way. If he shoots, you don't see Ned fall. If Ned shoots, you don't see the German fall. What do you do? Like, you got to stand back to get a bird's eye view right there. So never too close to a gunfight.
That's awesome. But yeah, you're right. Like that bullet could, like they could miss or like shoot and then they're dying and they shoot off and it's, but yeah, that's really good. So let's see. I don't really have another lesson because I was just laughing so many things. And
Yeah.
obviously there's so many other things we can do. But no, I'm not gonna just make up one because I couldn't come up with another one, or I didn't because I was laughing so much. But now let's talk about the Monday morning quarterback.
Ooh,
What is
okay.
your Monday morning quarterback?
The Germans should have put a club on their plane. You know, the old club you put in cars to lock the steering wheel. They should have put that on the plane so they couldn't escape.
That is brilliant. So I'm going to think that not El Jefe and his big group of men when they go and meet the Three Amigos first. It's really the three guys that go initially the first time. The three bad guys go in there, and that's when they first meet the Three Amigos. They literally should just kill them. Like that's their job. That's what they do. But they ran away because it was so crazy. But they should have just killed them. That would have put their stock so much higher in El Guapo's eyes. Hey man, they hired these guys to come in. El Guapo has no idea that these guys are little whining, women. They don't know that. And so he could say, "Yeah, these guys, they came here to take us out. We took them out." And you see dead bodies of amigos. That stock would rise. And Jefe, you're moved aside. Hey, you come up. You're not you
That's
now.
right. That's right. New Jefe, new number two in
Exactly.
charge right there. That's a good Monday morning quarterback. What is your prop from the movie?
I love. Well, he's got to be an outfit. One of the outfits, like the
Yeah.
whole thing with the gun. Like I really need to get a gun like that. One of those old West guns, like the little wimpy guns. But I'll probably more than likely buy the really good, the Peacemaker ones, the big ones that Ned Needletter couldn't even barely even hold up. But
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have the outfit. I can't think of anything else that wouldn't be any as perfect. Like if you get that, people will see that. Oh, that's the Three Amigos. They would absolutely know it.
Exactly. Now, which outfit or which character's outfit? Because they all are designed differently, different white stripings. They all have the like rhinestones or whatever glittery on it, and they also have different hat designs. Like Dusty Bottoms has an eagle, and the other two they don't have animals, but they have some kind of design on it. Whose would you choose?
So I'm going to go look at that question a little backwards or the opposite way. The one that I know I did not like, the only one that like caught my brain of which one I didn't like was Ned Needlelander's. For some reason, maybe it was the hat or something, but every single time I see it, for some reason, like I just, even though they look so similar, for some reason, it was always like, I didn't like it. But Dusty Bottoms with the eagle, I think, yeah, I would probably go with Dusty Bottoms and just say, hey, yeah, I'm Dusty and that's Dusty Bottoms. How
Totally.
about you?
It fits your name. I would take Lucky Day's outfit. The exact same thing. Got to have one of the outfits, and it would be Lucky Day for me as well.
Yeah, that's
Cool
awesome.
beans.
So thinking of props, I want to bring up one thing. So in Arizona, this is actually real life. In Arizona, there was a kid. I'm going to tell you a little story. So there was a boy. He was probably about 5 or 6 years old, and he's playing with his little sister. His little sister's maybe like 3 or 4. They're best friends, and they love each other. He loves and protects his little sister. Well, and again, this is literally a true story. Talking about props, I'll get to the prop in just a second. So they were playing outside, and a big dog, maybe like a pit bull or something, ran and charged at his little sister. He saw this coming, and he jumped in front of the dog, took, as a 5 or 6 year old, like literally a little kid, took on the dog, literally marred up his entire face. He has the stitches from his mouth all the way to his ear, and it's all chewed up. I mean, it's really, really bad. They did some surgeries. He's looking better. This was literally happened like maybe 1 or 2 months ago. And he was so brave. He literally said, well, I just figured, literally was talking to either his parents or something. It was either going to be my sister dies or I die. And I wanted it to be me. I was like, dude, that guy is a hero. What a stud. So transition, or like telling that story, think of a prop. I was super impressed. So Chris Evans, you know who Chris Evans is, right?
Yes.
Captain America, the guy who plays Captain America, has the Captain America actual official shields or shield or ones that are used in the movie. He literally, Chris Evans, sent to this boy, he says, you are a hero. You are the Captain America. I'm going to give you an official shield of Captain America so that you can have it. I thought that was really stand-up-ish. I thought that was
Yeah.
really, really cool. But man, like I said, this kid is literally a hero and said, I'm going to die instead of my little sister. So I just had to bring that up. That was such a great, great story.
For sure, that is. That's an uplifting, happy story. Even though it's kind of like a sad outcome, it ended up in the end being good. So what happened? They were able. The little sister lived, of course, and the boy lived both as well.
Correct. So the little sister
Good.
had nothing happen to her. The little her brother, the little boy, he went to the hospital, got
Like
stitches,
scarred
and
up. Yeah.
trying to obviously take care of that, and he's getting better and he's doing better. But yeah, so they're both fine. I don't know what happened to the dog. Probably more than likely put him down, but
Probably.
yeah. So they're both fine, and it was a really, really touching story. Just man, such a brave dude. I'm like, man, most men wouldn't even do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. Thanks for sharing that story. I love it. So, what is your grade for the Three
Oh
Amigos?
my goodness. A plus. A plus. Absolutely. I could watch this. Actually, I have in the last like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. I've watched this at least 2 or 3 times. And before we jumped on this call, if you go to YouTube and you type in Three Amigos, I can't remember which channel it is, but they have like clips. 12 or so different clips, like really quick clips of funny episodes or funny parts of it. You can watch each one and it shows you, and it just makes you laugh all over again. So A plus. How about you?
I agree. A plus. It can't go any other way. Now, the interesting thing, or maybe the bummer thing, I went to Rotten Tomatoes as I always do with these. The audience score was 67, and the critics is 45.
They have no clue what they're talking about.
Now, they have no clue at all. Like, this movie delivered exactly what they set out to deliver, right? Just a fun, funny, Western style mix-up story. And it was great. Like, you can't fault anything in this movie. I don't understand why critics can't see that and why they would knock something like this.
Absolutely, man. That's just sad. But oh well,
Yep.
I love it. We wholeheartedly just endorse it and say you must watch this movie, even if you're a female. You will probably enjoy it. More than likely, you'll enjoy it. It's a love story
More
in there
than
too.
likely.
In fact, there's like 3
Ooh.
love stories. You got all 3 of Lucky Day, Ned Needlelander, and Dusty Bottoms. They all 3 get women, and it's a love story. Yes, absolutely. And it's a musical. All that
Yep.
combined, what's not to love?
I don't know. I don't know what's not to love. So this was a great movie. But what are we going to learn from next week, Dust?
I'm going to give you the option to pick one of these 2 movies. Now, there's a bunch of them. We have a laundry list. And I'm actually, for everybody watching and listening, I really have been enjoying, because we used to do a lot of new movies, but since no movies are coming out, we've been doing a lot of old movies. I'm actually enjoying doing old movies more so than the new movies, which is fun. I mean, think of like what's that skyscraper one where the building was on fire with The Rock. I was like, oh my goodness. Or ones that we have to walk out of. So going and watching these movies have been fun. So I'm going to go back and give you a pick of two different ones. And they're both are starring one specific actor. Growing up, he's like, man, this guy is phenomenal. You either have Commando or Terminator. Commando or Terminator, which one do you want to do?
Oh, remember this from Total Recall? Oh, I just can't choose. My husband loves Sub-Zero. My son loves. Let's do both. What do you think?
That was the that was the Running Man, not Total Recall, but yes, the Running Man. Which
I said Total. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Running Man.
You know what? You brought up the Running Man. I can't believe I didn't even think of the Running Man. We got to do all three. All three movies are phenomenal. We got three movies. Running Man, yes. You have Total Recall, not Total Recall, Running Man, Commando, and, well, my phone's going off for some reason, which this is weird. I'm not going to edit this out because it's just funny. We literally never get phone calls. Oh, well, yeah. I'm going to let that go. So we have Commando, Running Man, and Terminator. What do you think?
Yep, I'm down. Wait, which Terminator, 1 or 2?
Number one, Terminator number one. Now, Terminator 2's number is terrific. We could eventually do that, but we have the first one.
I'm good. Yes, let's do all of them. Let's start off. I think the very first movie you mentioned was Commando. Let's go Commando first.
Okay, so Commando, then Terminator, then The Running Man.
Yep, perfect. That works for me, man. I love it.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yep, me too. Cool beans. So everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube or listening, if you downloaded the podcast, we appreciate your ears and your eyeballs. If you'd like to leave a comment on the show, go to the show notes page, watchandlearnpodcast.com/the Three Amigos with the number 3 in the middle right there. And just scroll on down, leave a comment at the bottom. All right. Once again, thank you so much for listening. My name was Sky.
And I'm Dusty.
And we will return next week with
Commando.